Intel and Nvidia, two of the biggest names in the tech world, have joined forces in a partnership that nobody saw coming, shaking up the industry in a way that could completely change the future of CPUs, GPUs, laptops, mini-PCs, and data centers, and leaving everyone asking one big question. Is AMD in trouble? Welcome to TechVerse Now Brief in Details. Intel and Nvidia are surprise allies, and the entire tech world is buzzing with shock, curiosity, and excitement because this historic partnership spans both consumer and enterprise markets and marks several major firsts, with each company integrating the other's technology into their chips. Meaning Nvidia will embed Intel CPUs into its AI data center platforms, while Intel will join forces with Nvidia RTX graphics for its consumer processors. And that's not all, because Nvidia has also taken a surprising financial leap by becoming an Intel shareholder with a massive $5 billion investment, giving it a roughly 4% stake in the company, signaling that this is not just a marketing stunt, but a serious long-term strategy. And this also marks Nvidia's very first foray into the x86 space, something that changes the competitive landscape forever. And as soon as the news broke, the industry went into overdrive with speculation about what this means for AMD. Because if Intel and Nvidia combine their strengths into juggernaut silicon, then AMD might face its toughest battle yet. But the question of whether AMD is truly screwed is far from simple, because while this partnership promises groundbreaking technology, it also raises many questions about execution, strategy, and long-term competition. And right now, no one can say for certain how this will play out. But what we do know is that this alliance is shaking up everything we thought we knew about the CPU and GPU market, starting with laptops, which seem like the most likely place for Intel and Nvidia combined chips to appear, especially in a highly competitive $500 to $1,000 mainstream laptop segment. And while some believe these chips will power affordable gaming laptops, others suggest they could target premium ultrabooks and even mini-PCs, a market that has been steadily rising in popularity thanks to AMD's dominance with Ryzen APUs. And this raises a fascinating possibility, because mini-PCs equipped with Intel CPUs and RTX graphics could give AMD's Ryzen-powered systems a real run for their money, bringing us back to the days of gaming nukes like Hades Canyon, which combined Intel and AMD tech in a hybrid SoC, except this time the alliance is between Intel and Nvidia, which makes it far more powerful, and the implications for gaming, productivity, and enterprise applications are massive, because we could see RTX-infused processors in small form factors that make high-performance computing more accessible. But what does this mean for Qualcomm, which has been desperately trying to secure a foothold in the laptop market with its Snapdragon X Elite chips, especially promoting battery life as its biggest strength? And while Qualcomm might carve out a niche as the battery efficiency leader, AMD seems to face the bigger risk here, since Intel and Nvidia's combined silicon could overshadow Ryzen APUs and laptops, especially in the budget and mid-range market. But AMD isn't without weapons of its own, because right now, Ryzen CPUs are stronger than Intel's in many areas. Desktop adoption has surged. Handheld consoles are practically an AMD monopoly. And in the data center, AMD is projected to grab 40% market share by 2025, thanks to its strong partnerships with Microsoft and Sony. So while Intel and Nvidia may present a united front, AMD still has the momentum. And what many people forget is that AMD has been here before, competing as the underdog and clawing its way into markets that were once dominated by Intel, going from less than 10% laptop share to over 20% today, and potentially rising higher if Intel stumbles. And let's not forget, Intel still holds nearly 80% of the laptop CPU market, so AMD's path forward is difficult but not impossible. And this is where the real story lies. Intel and Nvidia might look unstoppable, but they remain two separate companies with their own priorities, meaning this partnership could last only a few years. Maybe enough to shake things up, but not necessarily enough to permanently destroy AMD. And let's be honest, Nvidia is famous for being aggressive and opportunistic. So if Intel can't keep up or the market doesn't respond as expected, Nvidia could pull away, leaving Intel exposed. And while the alliance looks like a powerhouse today, tech history has shown us that strange bedfellows don't always last. But make no mistake, this partnership is a strategic response to Intel's recent struggles and the growing uncertainty in global geopolitics. Because without those pressures, it's unlikely these two giants would have ever joined forces. And yet here we are, staring at a future where Nvidia RTX graphics could be built directly into Intel CPUs, and where Intel CPUs could power Nvidia's AI supercomputers. And if that vision comes true, then the world of computing will change forever, with laptops, desktops, data centers, and AI platforms all reshaped by this alliance. And while AMD fans may joke about whether Team Red is screwed, the truth is that AMD has time to adapt, innovate, and leverage its strengths, because technology moves fast, but execution matters even more. And the first fruits of this partnership won't even arrive for a few years, meaning AMD still has breathing room. But the stakes are enormous, because this isn't just about CPUs and GPUs anymore. It's about control of the future of AI, cloud, gaming, and enterprise computing, and whichever companies emerge. Strongest from this war will define the next decade of technology. So keep your eyes on Intel, Nvidia, and AMD, because the battles ahead will be some of the most intense we've ever seen in the PC industry. At the end of the day, one question remains. Are we witnessing a rise of a juggernaut alliance that will crush competition, or just a temporary pact born out of desperation? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, this Intel-Nvidia partnership is the boldest and most surprising move in tech this year, and we'll be tracking every detail as it unfolds, because the future of CPUs, GPUs, and AI is at stake, and with all eyes on AMD, the pressure has never been higher. So stay tuned for more updates as this historic story develops. And as always, this is TechVerse.